Captain, 2017, directed by Robert Schwenke, is based on a true story. It recounts the chilling and bizarre events involving Willi Herold, a German deserter in the final weeks of World War II. Herold stumbled upon an abandoned German officer's uniform and began impersonating a Luftwaffe captain. Using this guise, he assembled a group of followers and carried out brutal acts, including the execution of prisoners and civilians. While the film dramatizes certain aspects, it stays true to the horrifying essence of the historical events. Herold's actions, often referred to as the executioner of Emsland, exemplify the chaos and moral collapse prevalent in the dying days of World War II Germany. The movie serves as a grim exploration of authority, obedience, and the darkness of human behavior in extreme circumstances. The 2019 version of Midway is based on a true story. It depicts the events surrounding the Battle of Midway, a pivotal naval battle that took place between June 4th and 7th, 1942. The battle was fought between the United States and the Imperial Japanese Navy, and it marked a turning point in the Pacific theater of the war. The film portrays key figures involved in the battle, such as U.S. Navy commanders, including Admiral Chester W. Nimitz and Lieutenant Commander Dick Best, as well as Japanese leaders like Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto. The movie highlights real historical events, including the U.S. Navy's intelligence efforts that allowed them to anticipate the Japanese attack on Midway Island, and the subsequent American counteroffensive that resulted in the destruction of 4 Japanese aircraft carriers. While the movie stays relatively true to the broad historical facts, it does take some creative liberties for dramatic effect. Some characters and events are fictionalized or condensed, and certain aspects of the battle are presented in a more streamlined way than in real life. Dunkirk, 2017, is based on a true story. The film, directed by Christopher Nolan, depicts the real events of the Dunkirk evacuation, known as Operation Dynamo. This event took place between May 26 and June 4, 1940, as Allied forces were surrounded by German troops on the beaches of Dunkirk, France. While the film avoids focusing on individual historical figures, it captures the intensity and chaos of the evacuation, emphasizing survival and the collective effort of those involved. The use of practical effects and a non-linear narrative enhances the realism and emotional impact. The significant role of civilian boats, which crossed the English Channel to assist in the evacuation, is central to the film and reflects the real-life heroism of ordinary people. Dunkirk is widely praised for its historical authenticity in capturing the atmosphere and stakes of one of the most critical moments in World War II. The film serves as a tribute to the resilience and bravery of those who participated in the evacuation. The Unknown Soldier, Tentamidon Sotilis, 2017, is based on a true story, though it is a fictionalized account inspired by real historical events. The film is an adaptation of the 1954 novel Tentamidon Sotilis by Finnish author Väinö Linna, which provides a raw and realistic portrayal of Finnish soldiers during the Continuation War. 1941 to 1944, when Finland fought alongside Germany against the Soviet Union. The film captures the experiences of Finnish soldiers on the front lines, including their struggles, camaraderie, and the brutal realities of war. The characters in the film are fictional, but they represent typical Finnish soldiers and their varied backgrounds. The story is grounded in the real-life experiences of Finnish troops, drawing from Linna's own service in the war and extensive research. While the characters and events are fictionalized for storytelling purposes, The Unknown Soldier is deeply rooted in the historical context of the Continuation War and reflects the real experiences of Finnish soldiers during that period. Hacksaw Ridge 2016 is based on a true story. The film tells the remarkable story of Desmond Doss, a U.S. Army medic who became the first conscientious objector to receive the Medal of Honor. Doss's story is one of extraordinary bravery and unwavering faith. The film focuses on Doss's heroic actions during the Battle of Okinawa in 1945, particularly at the Maida escarpment, known as Hacksaw Ridge. Under relentless enemy fire, Doss saved the lives of 75 wounded soldiers by lowering them down the cliff face, one by one, using a makeshift sling. The film closely follows the real events of Doss's life and the Battle of Hacksaw Ridge, though some details were dramatized for cinematic effect. Desmond Doss's story is a powerful testament to courage, faith, and the human spirit, and Hacksaw Ridge is a fitting tribute to his extraordinary life and service. USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage 2016, is based on the true and harrowing story of the sinking of the USS Indianapolis. The film dramatizes the events surrounding one of the worst naval disasters in U.S. history. The Indianapolis was a heavy cruiser tasked with a top-secret mission to deliver components of the Little Boy atomic bomb to Tinian Island in July 1945. The mission was completed successfully, but on the return journey, the ship was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine, I-58, on July 30, 1945. The ship sank in just 12 minutes after being hit by 2 torpedoes. Out of the 1,195 crew members on board, approximately 300 went down with the ship, leaving around 900 men stranded in the open sea. The survivors endured 4 to 5 days in shark-infested waters with little food or fresh water. Many succumbed to dehydration, saltwater poisoning, exposure, and shark attacks. The survivors were discovered by accident when a Navy patrol plane spotted them on August 2nd. Only 316 men survived the ordeal. The film accurately portrays the ship's mission, the torpedo attack, and the horrifying conditions faced by the survivors in the water. It also depicts the emotional and psychological toll on the sailors and the heroism of those who fought to survive. Some characters and personal storylines, however, are fictionalized or exaggerated for dramatic effect. The interactions and dialogues are also dramatized to heighten the emotional impact. Rommel, 2012, is based on real historical events, focusing on the last months of Field Marshal Erwin Rommel's life during World War II. It is a dramatized account, but remains grounded in true historical events, exploring Rommel's involvement in the German military and his eventual fall from grace within the regime. The movie captures Rommel's internal conflict and his strained relationship with Berlin. It portrays key historical figures and events such as the D-Day invasion, the Valkyrie plot, and Rommel's forced suicide. Some conversations and personal moments are fictionalized for narrative purposes. The film also simplifies complex historical events for clarity and dramatic impact. Isoroku Yamamoto, 2011, is based on the true story of Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the Japanese naval commander who planned the attack on Pearl Harbor and Midway. The movie offers a biographical portrayal of Yamamoto's life, his leadership during the war, and his internal conflict regarding Japan's military strategy. The film depicts Yamamoto's opposition to Japan's decision to go to war with the United States, which is historically accurate. While the film takes some artistic liberties, it is a largely accurate and respectful depiction of his role in World War II, along with his personal struggles. Yamamoto was killed on April 18, 1943, when his plane was shot down by American P-38 fighters in Operation Vengeance, a targeted mission based on intercepted Japanese communications. American Sniper, 2014, directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Bradley Cooper, is based on the true story of Chris Kyle, a U.S. Navy SEAL sniper and one of the most lethal marksmen in American military history. The film is an adaptation of Kyle's memoir, American Sniper, the autobiography of the most lethal sniper in U.S. military history. Chris Kyle served 4 tours in Iraq during the Iraq War. He earned the nickname Legend among his fellow SEALs and became one of the deadliest snipers in U.S. history, credited with 160 confirmed kills, though the actual number may be higher. Kyle's role was to provide overwatch for his comrades, often protecting ground troops and identifying threats during missions. The film portrays Kyle's challenges with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and the difficulties he faced in adjusting to civilian life after his military service. The film stays true to many aspects of Kyle's military service, his skill as a sniper, and his sense of duty to his comrades. It accurately portrays the intense combat situations and the psychological toll of war. Some events and characters in the film are fictionalized or condensed for dramatic purposes. For example, the storyline involving the sniper duel with an enemy marksman, Mustafa, is largely fictionalized and exaggerated for cinematic tension. While the film was praised for its compelling storytelling and Bradley Cooper's performance, it faced criticism for oversimplifying complex political and military issues and for omitting some controversial aspects of Kyle's life and views. Fury, 2014, is not based on a true story, but is inspired by the experiences of tank crews during World War II. The film combines elements of fiction with historically accurate depictions of armored warfare during the final months of the war in Europe. The camaraderie, hardships, and psychological toll depicted in the film are based on the real experiences of tank crews. Writer-director David Ayer drew inspiration from first-hand accounts and interviews with World War II veterans. The film's central tank Fury and its crew are fictional, as is the climactic standoff against overwhelming German forces. It has received criticism over the unrealistic battle tactics used by the Germans in some scenes. 12 Strong, 2018, is based on the true story of the first U.S. Special Forces team deployed to Afghanistan after the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. The film is adapted from Doug Stanton's nonfiction book, Horse Soldiers, the extraordinary story of a band of U.S. soldiers who rode to victory in Afghanistan. The movie tells the story of OTA 595, a team of 12 U.S. Army Green Berets from the 5th Special Forces Group who were part of Task Force Dagger. They were among the first American forces to enter Afghanistan to aid the Northern Alliance in their fight against the Taliban and al-Qaeda. The general outline of the mission, the challenges faced by the soldiers, and their collaboration with Afghan forces are accurate. The use of horses and the depiction of the harsh conditions in Afghanistan are based on real events. Some characters and interactions are fictionalized or condensed for dramatic effect. The timeline and events are streamlined to fit the movie's narrative structure. The portrayal of General Dostum, played by Naveed Nagoban, and his alliance with the Green Berets is based on real events, although some details are dramatized for storytelling.